focus on the kill, and then we'll go, sorry, rank 55 were pushing out of Windmill just then. There's a difference. Chaotic will hold back and get the cap, whereas rank 55 will push out and try and get the kill on the man and actually, you know, steamroll the map in their favor. And actually, you know, in the end, they might get the kill here on Texby, which is great for them. And they're going to be able to come back into this game here. Tiki does have to disengage versus Zan. And if I was Tiki, you know, you're going 1v1 versus an engineer, but maybe you don't want to go 1v1 versus Zan. I don't know. He has to challenge it, of course. And he's still doing very well to make sure that he survives it. So he's trying to risk it in different occasions here.
Yeah, he certainly is, but he's not feeling overly confident right now because Mancao is going for the kill and he will be able to finish off that target. Karam looking for the res and might just be able to find it, but it's going to be denied in the end. Karam, in fact, just going to be cleaved on down himself as well as Alessi. And look at this, 3-man wipe in the middle of the map. And that is going to be just 2 men remaining for Chaotic Contingency. That will be the clock tower going over to rank 55 unless someone can miraculously contest. But I don't think they're going to be able to. Prototype now has finally been caught up with. Presidente going to be the last man remaining here as Prototype is dropped. The respawns will come through, but it does mean the 2-cap is here for rank 55.
But look, oh no. Tiki drops down to try and go for the potential raise. That was such a mistake. But the rest of the blue team members are coming out. They need to get advantage here. Tiki needs to move back towards his team. But, you know, the engineer always so good at getting out position. Karam drives straight on the node there. Oh, nice Earthball to get the decap. Oh, he's a hero. And he gets the decap. That's great work from Karam there. And he does a fantastic job. This is already a completely a different performance compared to other times we've seen Chaotic Contingency. And this feels pretty confident at the moment. 100 points ahead at the moment for the guys.
Yeah, they certainly are. And I mean, Chaotic Contingency doing a fantastic job like in this game. They've significantly improved on the first game of the series, but rank 55 just seem pretty much indomitable. They just seem like such a confident team, and they're not afraid to go with more aggressive plays either. That's what I love about watching rank 55 Prototype in a 1v1 against Mancao here. Mancao, I mean, we were praising Mancao how well he does in these 1v1s, but Mancao has been kind of the guy for rank 55 that keeps on dropping throughout this game of Prototype. It looks like he might be the next one to drop as the damage is coming on through. He's doing his very best to kite it away, and he's doing a fantastic job of it too. And Alessi is going to be there to try and help him sustain up. He's going to be able to heal himself back up to just below halfway. But it's going to be Tiki now. He's the focus target, and he's dropped into that down state. I don't know if anybody is going to be there to get the res. It's in a 1v1, so it seems pretty unlikely. Levin once again picking that kill up.
But look, this is the thing. He's not even going to let him stop. The reason that the blue team are not able to get a lot out here and in this map presently is they have not got their Mesmer in the fights. They've not got them in the team situations. Although they get Mancao down, they're not going to be able to finish him off, of course, because we see the rally coming out with Prototype. Now Karam going down. They've got no quickness. The reason we saw that wipe over on the mid cap as well, they had no Mesmer to help, to bring out the quickness, to bring the quick precog as well, to get the blur, the rezzing power, the stability, everything that comes with that build. The Mesmer not in that team fight isn't worth the sustain that's going on over on this point to make sure it's kept neutral, because there's no comeback potential, because they've got no one to really push those team fights for them for the support. They need him in the fights, and it feels like they should have just given it up and just, you know, brought him back into the map another way. But obviously, you know, when you're stuck in that position, you know, Texby's laughing. He's laughing all the way to the bank. All they need to do now is just, you know, Texby. All he needs to do now is they're just standing versus each other. Nothing's going to change in that position. And now look what blue team are doing. They're trying to push someone over towards that fight to the point where they can maybe win it. They're not going to be able to come back in this game, unfortunately, at the moment, I don't feel. Maybe they are. Levin goes into the downstate. Good stuff there. But there's the res. And let's have a look. I wonder where the Oracle is. He's over on the windmill.
He certainly is. He's going to be able to at the very least contest that one. But look at the absolute chaos that's happening in this fight. Texby is going to be so close to going down, but he's able to heal himself back up, and he's going to be able to survive a little bit longer, but he's all out of cooldowns and he's all out of HP right now. The res immediately comes on through, though. He's going to be able to get back onto his feet thanks to his teammates. And this fight is actually going relatively well for Chaotic Contingency, but look at the health bar slowly but surely starting to deplete. Just the area pressure that we're seeing come out from rank 55 across this fight. Alessi so close to going down as well as Prototype, but they both managed to sustain themselves back up. But again, each time we see those health bars go up, they immediately drop again once the cooldowns are timed out. And just look at this, Prototype and Tiki now going to be the next two targets. The dots are stacking up onto Prototype. Alessi as well, so low. They're all managing to cling on narrowly. The res going to come out onto Alessi. They're putting up a valiant fight, but now Karam falls as well. And the pressure looks like it might just be a little bit too much. Karam is going to be able to get back up again, though. Oh, it was Vapor Bomb, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, you can see they're doing a lot better in this team fight situation now. Okay, they're dropping every so often, but that's the power of the Mesmer, sorry, as well as the Revenant, of course. You know, with the resin capability that he has. Rip that soon. But you know, it's the point is, and what we need to talk about is just the fact that you need to have that. If you're going to run the Mesmer, like, he was wasted for most of that game over on the windmill, and that's why they lost their fights. And now you can see how it's actually going towards their favor now, as tech speed drops quite low, but they're not able to bring that extra focus up. But it's the experience of running this composition in the builds, because they haven't got as much as 55. So 55 on average, probably taking more, but they're still doing better than probably most teams would in trying to adjust to this. I actually think this game, even though Chaotic Contingency are going to lose this series, is a sign of change. Is a sign of something that's going to happen differently, potentially in the rest of the season, and maybe they're going to be able to pick up some more wins, hopefully for them, as things change from, you know, tomorrow towards the beginning of January as well.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see if they are going to be able to change things up, but it is going to be a victory going over to the rank 55 Dragons. And I mean, first two series of the day have been a little bit one-sided, I think it's fair to say. But it has been our top two teams in the league playing, so kind of what you expect coming out. But rank 55 Dragons, with a 2-0 victory, they've now locked their position in to those playoffs as well, so they're going to be very happy with that one. Now, I'm going to do my best to get Levin on Skype, and we'll have another chat with him. But I mean, just talk me through what you think it was that rank 55 had. What is it about rank 55 that just means they can win quite so convincingly every single time? I
mean, what you said earlier was quite, you know, quite true. You were talking about their aggressive power as well, because rank 55 used to be rank 55 Dragons when, you know, they were a different team. They're not 55 HP monks. They're a completely different team. Okay, they've got similar members as well, but they feel like a more aggressive team, as well as, you know, rotationally and technically good players. They feel like they're being more aggressive, and I think it's something to do with, you know, the confidence and where they are in the pro league, doing well as a team. And actually, you know, people like Levin, who's going to come up in a moment, he's able to do, like, we saw him dropping quite low, but the reason why is that he's able to be quite confident in that, because he knows he's going to get picked up. Yeah. He knows he's going to be able to get res by, like, the Oracle. I wanted to say Misha there. Or by some other members. So he's allowed to be that aggressive, because he knows he's going to come back up, and he knows the Oracle is going to be in the position. Whereas, you know, El Presidente on Kylo wasn't. Yeah. So, you know, and you saw the power of the Mesmer in that game. It was a perfect example.
Yeah, it absolutely was. But we do have Levin ready and waiting for an interview.
He's going to get bored of me soon. He's speaking to me every week at the moment.
Probably is. But let's bring up Levin on our screens. How is it going, man? How are you feeling after that 2-0 victory up against Chaotic Contingency?
I'm feeling great. Thanks, Joe.
It's all right, mate. No worries. Not a problem at all. So talk to me about the composition you've run here, because we've seen a very similar composition come out from Vermilion, but we saw much slower paced games. Why is it that you guys are able to put out so much pressure onto your opponents every single game?
We are practicing a lot of 2v2s and scrimming a lot against TCG, so we probably have a pretty good communication right now. We normally just pick one target and then focuses with pretty much everything, and if we have both Condy refs in a fight, we can focus it pretty heavily with conditions, and we have a lot of Boon Whip with 2 Condy refs with Banished Enhancement. So yeah, that's probably pretty strong.
It's like the because I saw over on the mansion like quite early in the game. It's almost like separating. Like Prototype got pushed off node, and he was trying to disengage so he could regenerate. You know, so he was maybe not thinking that you were going to engage him there. But you guys did that on several occasions. Like you said, you pick the target and you do not stop until he's dead. Either that, or you know that to change target because it's not going anywhere. And that happened in quite a few situations where you lock them down off the point, you bring them into that down state. But they did start to come back a little bit into the game. They started to do a little bit better. But, you know, I mean, maybe an interesting question as well is the lower teams in the league at the moment, what do you feel they're missing currently, in your opinion? I know it's a bit of a different question and it's just an opinion, and I'm not talking about skill, but what are we talking about? Are we talking about consistency in team compositions? Or
I think most teams, the new ones, definitely lack practice. You probably heard it from most of the teams at the interviews at the very beginning, but most of them don't play together for such a long time. Or just, I mean, everyone on 55 is playing tournaments for quite a while now. Personally, I play PvP over 2 years now, pretty in the team, and they probably like just need to play it more together and find a good scrim partner. That's probably a big problem because we don't really share our scrim partners normally. So we normally keep the best team that's right now in the league for ourselves and just try to scrim them all over again to push each other. So so it's not that easy to get good scrim partners.
So in regards to scrim partners then, if you guys regularly are scrimming each other, when you find that you're against one of your scrim partners actually in the Pro League, do you kind of hide strategies in your scrims? How do you practice the sort of secret strats that you want to be bringing out against the other top teams?
Well, yeah, normally you want to hide secret strats, obviously. You don't try out everything. But for example, this season we were scrimming against Orange all the time. But we would face them after Christmas, but now Orange performance dropped pretty hard. And Tage left, so yeah, well, I think we talked enough about that already. And now we changed our scrim partners to TCG that were played against it, so yeah, we don't really have anything to hide for them anymore, so that was pretty good for us. So now we just try out everything we want to do.
Okay. So just play against an opponent that you've already played against. And it's not really an issue until it comes to playoffs. When you get to playoffs, that's when you're going to be wanting to hold on to those cards. But any last little questions you want to be asking?
Not really. I mean, I've talked to Levin so much. I want to ask you many questions, but maybe we probably push into a break. We could talk for a while. It's a good man, Levin. Your team's doing very well, so congratulations to you and the guys. Just pass on that, obviously, from us and from Twitch chat as well. But yeah, they're getting a lot of people are seeing you guys win at the moment. So yeah, again, congrats, and we'll see you after Christmas.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so that was Levin from, obviously, rank 55 Dragons, who are looking absolutely dominant.
They're looking all right, you know.
Yeah,
not too bad.
Okay. They're looking
they're
okay.
doing all right.
We are going to be heading into a short break, but do not go anywhere because our final two games of the, or our final two best of threes of the day are going to be some pretty close matchups, I feel like. Next up, we have Orange Logo versus Purple Noise. We're going to have a little bit of a battle of the rainbow here. And we've got Orange Logo on 1 win and 2 losses, and Purple Noise on 0 wins and 3 losses. So two of our sort of teams that are kind of at the bottom of the scoreboard here, they're going to be vying for those positions towards the middle of the scoreboard, and we'll see who is going to be the one to take the edge. So do not go anywhere. In fact, you can. Go and get yourself a cup of tea. Go and get yourself a drink. Maybe get a couple of biscuits or something, and be back in just 5 minutes when we'll be back with our next best of 3. Hello everybody and welcome back to the ESL Guild Wars 2 Pro League. My name is Munchballs and joining me once again is Jebro. I think I've like literally got that to a T, to the point where I'm saying the exact same words every time. I think I need to mix my intros up a little bit. I'll try and think of something a little bit more.
I'll throw a spanner in the works and change my name or something.
Yeah, just change your username. That'll throw
just
me
randomly
off.
change everything that I've had for 2 years.
Well, I mean, your username already doesn't match your username. Like, when I was originally trying to find Jebro on Twitter, I was like, where is he?
Yeah, Chrono Gamer will have a few words to say about that if he's watching. No, absolutely no doubt about that. We're going wild today. We're going wild today for some of the teams. 2 more series left.
We do indeed. And let's take a look at what series we have coming up for you guys. Let's take a look at the teams that are playing tonight. The teams that have played tonight. We've had 2-0 so far. Vermilion and Rank 55 managing to take the advantages over their opponents. And then match 3 and match 4 are going to be Orange Logo up against Purple Noise and Car Crash up against TCG. So the Battle of the Colours is going to be coming up for our 3rd match of the day. We'll see who's going to be able to take the lead in this one now. I mean, Orange Logo, they're a pretty old name within Guild Wars 2. They've been around a long time. However, this season, they've kind of been... They've not had the same sort of oomph, I feel, as we were expecting them to have.
Things have changed, you know, before Pro League even started, just to give you a little bit of background, you know, going to World Tournament Series twice, winning one of those, and coming second in the most recent one in Cologne, of course. Things have broken apart for these guys. You know, they've lost Tage recently, unfortunately, as well. Hopefully he will be back at some point in time in the game. But they've picked up, you know, Frey left the game for a while, so obviously, you know, they picked up a Mesmer, something they felt like they were missing anyway. And obviously, you know, Mesmer being so strong now, that's very useful for them. But then having to reintroduce him into the team, and obviously, you know, they've been talking, they get on, they're friends, but it's different. You need to be playing the same consistency, which made them so strong, really, to go up against teams like in NA, like the Abjured, for example, and consistency in themselves is very, very important. So now, you know, obviously they lost Tage, Farrells has come in as well. Obviously, Farrells is very good, he's very adaptable, he can come back in quite well. You know, Syndrone as well. You know, the core group, like Rom, Denshi, and Tage, have been there forever. It's been broken apart as well, and it's very difficult to come back from that. You're losing a good friend from the team, from that core group.
Like, I feel like being a team is like being a human body, and you've got to have each one of those limbs. And when you get a new limb, like if I suddenly had one of your arms in the morning, it'd take a little bit of getting used to. And
it's a nice looking arm, though.
It would be a nice looking, it'd probably be an upgrade. I've got kind of scrawny chicken leg arms, but anyway.
Let's go into the game.
Yeah, let's get this game underway. Let's see if Orange Logo are going to have any scrawny chicken leg players or whether they're going to have strong Jebro arms. But it is going to be Legacy of the Fofi, our first map of this best of 3 once again. Let's take a look at that intro.
A throwback to Guild vs. Guild from the original Guild Wars, the Legacy of the Fofi has teams vying for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Locked away within each team's keep resides the Guild Lord. Killing the enemy team's Guild Lord will grant your team 150 points, potentially swaying the outcome of the match. The first team to 500 points wins.
So there we have it. First team to 500 points wins. And that's going to be what both of these teams are looking to do, because they certainly need to get some wins on the board. It's going to be Orange Logo up against Purple Noise. Let's take a look at the builds, because we've got some slightly different compositions to what we've seen for the rest of the day here.
Oh, we've got 2 Ellies, actually, on the other side of the map. Anyway, we are going to go. Dinshi is playing Condi Rev. He's going with Viper and Durability. Syndrone playing Marauder with Durability, as well as Hammer. Scrapper, Inventions, Alchemy. You know the build. You know very well. Frostball going to be playing with the similar build to, of course, the Oracle in the last game. It was Mesmer's support bunker builds that we've seen as well. Rom just looks like an insane person over on the side as he's dancing with massive hair. Condi Rev being played as well over on this team. Of course, Farrell's picking up that build. And then Rom going for the Druid. He's going for 3 glyphs here rather than going for any signet to make sure, you know, power damage decrease. Also Condi removal through the other signet as well. But we're actually going to see him going for Nature Magic, Beast Mastery and Druid here. Is he going to go for Soldiers? He's going to go for Soldiers. We've seen him pick up Marksman sometimes as well, but he's going for Sword and off-hand Horch here as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. He's going to be able to might stack his damage up a little bit here as well. But what is going for
I was about to
Rom
say,
at the moment?
I think the key thing for Orange Logo right now is the Afro build that they're pulling out. Rom going to be running with that bizarre hairstyle.
I didn't even know this existed in Guild Wars 2. Sorry to put so much focus on that, but that is an amazing character.
It does look bizarre.
He wins so many competitions. Anyway.
Let's look at Purple Noise. Let's look
Purple Noise. Scovo is going to be playing on the Elementalist today. Staff Soldiers with Selly as well. It's a typical build that we see quite a lot as well. Water, Earth, and Tempest here as well. Of course, going for Diamond Skin and also going for Cleansing Water there. Is Honey going to be running with something very similar? She's going to be going for more powerful aura. So, of course, when you get those auras on yourself, through sharing them with your allies, very, very, very good for the rest of this build. Good synergy for the Auramancer there as well. Now we're going to go to Carver. He's going to be playing Engineer, of course. Still going Alchemy Inventions, and Scrapper going for Hammer, of course. Jelly of the Juggernaut. But he's bringing out the Zerker here. Actually, you know, that's maybe not such a bad idea. They've always needed more damage. They tried to bring the Dragon Hunter in last week, which feels like it didn't really work for them in the end, unfortunately. But they're just going to put more damage focus onto Carver. He's got a lot of pressure on his hands, clearly, in this build.
Yeah.
He's got, you can see the stats, he's got no HP, he's got no toughness, he's down to about 17.1k health. You know, it's not too bad, but they're very sustaining, they're very tanky, so why not? And he's going to be going with Elite Mortar Kit there as well. So in this build, I actually would have thought maybe a Sneak Gyro might have been better, but
So
we'll have to wait and see.
just on Cover's build really quickly. With the Berserker Amulet, I don't think in the Pro League we've actually seen an engineer running with the Berserker Amulet just there. What kind of damage are you actually expecting him to be able to put out? Are we going to see him like one-shotting people? Or?
Not one shot, but with if he can get off Thunderclap and then mix it up with some Slick Shoes as well, and he's got Fury as well as, you know, the extra might stacking which comes out from elixirs, and we need to just double check that's what he's running because I kind of fleetingly went through it. He's going to be able to put out a lot of damage. So effectively, that is going to be an extremely nice combo, so, which is why I'm surprised he hasn't gone for Sneak Gyro. But obviously, Mortar Kit really helps. You know, you can actually get more might stacks as well through this because you've got Elixir, but you know, and he's going to be able to help himself sustain a bit. But Sneak Gyro is good for, you know, being a stealth and coming up on your opponents. Okay, they can see the little bot, but, you know, he's still able to jump out of that and still have a bit of stealth. And you can trick people because you can go down paths and jump off that path, of course. The Sneak Gyro has to find a path to try and find the engineer. You can't just jump down with him. So you can fool people. So sometimes, you know, I would felt that might have been quite useful. But this is going to help him survive as well as gaining some extra might through that build. Obviously, Demon Lord, we know what he's going to be playing as soon as we jump onto the Revenant. That's Condition with Viper. And then Badaka, he's going to be playing the oh, hello, no. Wow. This is why they've gone for two Ellies then, you know, because they're going for a lot more survivability for the team through their elementals because they've not got the Mesmer and they've not got the power that the bunker support Mesmer does bring. So he's going to be going for durability. He's probably going to be going for, he's going to go for inspiration here as well. So he's still got a couple of the traits that we see, but he's going to be going, of course, for delayed reactions there as well as improved alacrity. That's no change. And it's no change for the quickness really either. So we've got the shatter damage there. There's a lot of damage coming out from this build, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it, you know, a Shatter Mesmer going back into this game. It's going to be good stuff, indeed. You can just see hovering over the traits, but you know, it's going to be good to see him coming out on this build. I haven't seen Badaka playing damage focused Mesmer before. Maybe I have seen him before, but it's been a long time since I've seen that coming out. So maybe, you know, this change might help, but. Bunker support Mesmer, man. I feel like if you're not running this build in your team, your chances are going to diminish, especially against Orange Logo here. So they've got to get these kills very quickly. Frostball looks pretty. They're really bringing out the...
It's all about the swag points. It's all about the swag points. Actually count towards your final score. You get one of your 500 points per swag. So if you've got 5 good-looking players. I mean, Rom gets 5 points on his own just for that Afro.
Well, this is the good spirit. They know that at the moment their chances of almost getting top 2 are diminished considerably. You know, something completely insane has to happen for that to not come through. In fact, I don't think it might be possible. They obviously need to win today, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it goes for Orange Logo. You put your money on them still, I think, seeing there's also Purple Noise, you know, obviously finding it hard to get on the map, on the map. Well, sometimes they do. On the board, unfortunately, in terms of standings, like you said before, you know, 3 losses up until now, same as Chaotic Contingency. Obviously, you know, they've got another one to their belts as well. So I think we're seeing, you know, bottom 2 series at the moment. The team's fighting for survival. Obviously, Guild Challenger League as well. We might see 2 different teams coming out next season. You never know, but you know, there's still a chance for these guys to get themselves out of that predicament.
Yeah, there certainly is, and we'll see who's going to be the one slowly but surely climbing that ladder, climbing that leaderboard. And I mean, both of these teams certainly need the win on the board. And if Purple Noise are able to win this one as well, then they're going to be tied up with Orange Logo. So for Purple Noise, this is a pretty crucial game because currently they are tied for bottom place. That is not a place that you want to be. So if they can take this win off Orange Logo, they're going to be heading towards sort of at least the lower section of the middle of the table. That's where they want to be aiming towards this season. And we heard in the interview with Honey at the very start of the season that they were aiming to try and get around 5th, 6th. That was what their goal was. With them being a new team and everything, all of that synergy might potentially be lacking a little bit, but we'll see how they're going to be able to do this one as we head onto the map. The game is underway. It's going to be Orange Logo up against Purple Noise, and the battles have already begun over towards the quarry. We're seeing Scovo actually in a 2v1 by the looks of things. Just going to be doing his best to try and interrupt the cap of the quarry, but I don't know for how long he'll be able to do that. If any CC is going to be able to come out from Rom, he will just be able to slowly but surely eke that one out. But none of the nodes have actually been capped just yet, but look at the health bars for Purple Noise. They're already starting to feel the pressure.
I mean, one thing I wanted to point out and just go back in time almost, I wish I had just to double check the ammo, because I think I just automatically assumed that Frostball is running full support Mez. You can see he's using the Great Sword at the moment. He's going for a little bit of a hybrid here. He's gone for Marauder Amulet, and he's not actually gone for that same build. So maybe he was, and either that or I didn't notice, but you know, maybe I just automatically assumed that's what they were going for. But you can see at the moment they are kind of dominating these fights, and they're ending a lot quicker here as well. Vidaka does get dropped here. We've got no one really in range for the res. Demon Lord is powerful in terms of trying to get that, but he's not going to go for it. Instead, they're trying to get the damage down onto Frostpool here, because they know he's obviously a little bit squishier than normal, because he's going to be rocking with that Marauder Amulet here. But now the damage comes out potentially onto Demon Lord there, but it does evade a lot of that pressure, and Honey comes onto the node as well. But they've still got the 1 cap, but they're being pigeonholed right here on this node, and they don't want to be in that situation because they are dropping pretty low here. They need to be very careful. Scovo as well over on the midpoint. They're thinking about a total team regroup here, but they drop Demon Lord at the same time as well.
Yeah, they're really feeling the pressure. Scovo as well going to be dropped, as well as Kava might just be in the same situation, desperately trying to escape this one, and will be able to top himself back up to half HP, but Dinch is there as well as Rom to capitalize on this man trying to escape. He's finally going to go down, and there's nobody going to be anywhere near to get the res. And now it's just going to be Honey and Vidaka remaining. Demon Lord has finally respawned, but he's not going to be in the fight just yet. And Honey, she's all but outnumbered. Vidaka as well in a 2v1. This is looking like a sort of elongated wipe, if you will. It's been a little bit delayed, but all 5 members might just be going down here. 22 HP remaining as Vidaka finally drops. Honey going to be executed. Vidaka as well, slowly but surely bleeding on out. That is going to be Dinch able to finish that one off. So Orange Logo with a convincing fight there, taking 5 kills onto the board and taking the lead in this one. They've got the D cap onto the waterfall. They might just be looking towards a 3 cap right now.
Now, what's good with Rom is that he can run Soldier's Amulet in this build that he's playing for on the Ranger, on the Druid at the moment, because if he's able to get his damage off from his pet, he's not scaled on his own stats. You know, the damage from the pet is going to be the damage from the pet. It doesn't change with the different stats you get. So you see the pet he has out right now, it does a lot of damage, and he's able to, if in 1v1s, that's extra strength, and he's doing a great job in terms of his support as well. And it feels like they're being very powerful on this node, even just with the 2 members here as well, versus 3 members coming out from Purple Noise. And I don't feel like they're going to be able to get the... Oh no, they might actually be able to get the decap here. As a nice knockback comes out from the Mesmer as well. Vidaka doing a good job, but you know, there's so much sustain right now, and Rom is being very supportive. Normally when you see in those team fights that Ranger having a little bit less luck there.
Syndra are actually in a little bit of trouble there, but it's going to be Skovo the first one to fall here. Vaporform used very quickly there just to try and get away, trying to get into range to get the res, and he will be able to do so, but it's all about Honey kiting away from that waterfall over there.
Yeah,
Vidaka, actually, he's found his way to the graveyard.
Yeah, good portal there, actually. Great portal moving over towards mid. So they're using that very, very well at the moment. And feels like the portals are starting to come out a little bit more for the teams. They know that the meta is tanky, so the way to get those decaps, they have to decap quickly because it can really start to snowball when you've even just got one node. It sounds odd to say it, but like, you can start to stack up a lot of points. If the fights are so elongated and sustained, you have to get decaps quickly if you can, and use the fact that they've left up a cap open to your advantage. And it's obviously something obvious as well to bring out. But we are going to see teams starting, the blue team starting to go down over on this waterfall point. Honey drops into downstate there as well. Dinch able to finish that off. Flashy finisher right there. Not many people have that one. Farrell's over towards the core as well. I think they're pressured a little bit here. You can see that Skovo is in a lot worse of a position as well. And he is being brought down into the downstate. Demon Lord trying to potentially go for the res. Not able to as well. And that's something about this purple noise we've not been able to see. Good idea to try and move back there to try and get the res in the end.
Yeah, that's... It's going to mean Carver goes down. Actually, no, it wasn't even Carver. It was Demon Lord going for the res, but Carver has gone down elsewhere on the map. And just look at this, the 2-cap coming out from Orange Logo. They're going to be looking for 3 potentially. They don't want to overextend for this though. Demon Lord in a 2v1 will slowly but surely be being focused down. He's run out of energy, so no more rolls available to him. And I mean, he's doing a fantastic job of surviving through this one. That's one of the things about Revenant as well, is you can kite around and do so much to stay alive for so long.
Yeah, he can, oh wow, Vidaka gets quite heavily focused there as well. He actually is doing okay at the moment. He's just not got the support there that he really needs, because he's not as tanky as he would normally be in a similar build, using, of course, those very supportive utilities. He's not able to survive long enough in the fight to actually help his team out there. Demon Lord goes down in the end over on the other side of the map. Like I said, Druid 1v1, you can't really mess with that too much, and if you're going to go in the 1v1 versus anyone, you don't want to be going against Rom in that, so in that occasion there, matchup probably wasn't the greatest in the world. Syndra over on the waterfall now as well versus Carver. This isn't too bad, because Carver's been playing Engineer a lot longer than Sin, but Sin obviously very good at the build, and you can see there at the moment, he's taking a great advantage, because Carver is full ham at the moment. I guess, excuse the pun, because it's obviously a hammer Engineer. But he's not having a good time in this map. He's getting out of places though, he's doing okay at the moment.
Yeah, speaking of ham, Carver currently being carved for Sunday dinner at this rate because his health bar is not feeling all too great. I didn't really fit, he wasn't even under that much pressure, I just really wanted to use that pun, but right now Orange Logo with a 3-cap lead here, and Purple Noise, they're kind of just trying to stop the bleeding right now, trying to stop hemorrhaging, but it's going to be Dinch looking for the Lord.
Lord Rush.
Lord Rush, we are
Lord
like...
Snail, Lord Turtle, Tortoise. No, I don't know. We'll come up with something better in the future for that one.
Lord Tortoise himself.
Yes, indeed. Well, that is going to be Red Team taking the win, and Orange Logo can leave 4 members on the map, sustaining the 3-cap, while there's 5 members of Purple Noise, and that is a statement right there. In terms of, maybe even how well they want to come back in the future and how well they're doing in this first game. Okay, it's against Purple Noise, but still,
But I mean, Purple Noise are only 1 win lower than them in the standings, so
true.
Orange Logo going to be quite happy with that victory, and I mean, crucially for them as well, it's 1 step closer. If they win this one, they're 2-2 in the standings. Like, 2-2 sounds a whole lot better than 1-2. If you're neutral, that's fine. That's average. That's middle of the table. If you're in negative figures, that's when it starts to get a little bit dicey for you. So Orange Logo, they're definitely going to be happy with that victory, regardless of the opponent. Purple Noise, unfortunately, again, I feel like we're having this recurring issue of them just not being able to put any pressure on their opponents.
I mean, maybe if they just, put a Sentinel's amulet on their Mesbla and he gone for that full supportive mode with that amulet and whatnot as well, it would have been a lot more useful for them. I mean, good idea with the portal that he used over towards mid. There was some nice usage of that there. It was really the only one I can really remember in the game that felt like it was going to be a potential pivotal moment for things to to change. But they need to work out that matchups, who they're pitting up against who, you know, sending the Revenant versus the versus Rom, the Druid, like best 1v1er at the moment, at least in more than just my opinion, of course, as well. On EU then as well, I'll say that just in case. Because, you know, you just got to think about those things, because he's going to lose that. He didn't get the decap. You know, Rom can CC and control him to a degree as well, and CC himself. And if the pet gets his damage off, he can kill him. He did kill him, well, at least once. And he's just thinking about those matchups and what the Mesmer's bringing to the team in terms of going for the full bunker support build at the moment.
Yeah.
But both teams didn't run the full build. So.
Yeah, kind of going halfway there. But I mean, shout outs as well to Levin from the last game. He had multiple 1v1s where he would be able to take out his opponent in our last best of 3 as well. So the battle for best 1v1 Europe, and if they are the best in Europe, probably best in the world.
Sorry,
as
what
well.
I meant to say is class.
Oh.
What I meant to say was class. Oh, well, there's classes and there's builds, you know. The build that, you know, Druid is very strong. If you're going to run Ranger, you're running Druid at the moment. If you're not, you know, you're not probably doing it very well. It's the best. It's just so good on point. It's sustaining and decapping, you know, using your glyphs. You've got Daze, you've got knockback, you've got a pull as well if you go into Celestial Avatar form. So there's a lot of potential to do that. You can sustain yourself very well.
TV's just not cooperating.
I like blue.
I'm a big fan of blue. It matches my tie, so that's
true.
my tie actually matches the background. I've just noticed. That was fully planned and coordinated.
I just like red because apparently it's a thing with a certain character.
And because it matches the background.
And the game background, yes.
Anyway, let's head into our second map. It is going to be, once again, Battle of Kylo. John, take us away with the map intro.
In the Battle of Kylo, players will fight for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Capturing these objectives can be quite difficult at times, as the enemy team may choose to rain fiery balls of death upon you from their trebuchet. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are on the Battle of Kylo. Let's take a quick overview of the builds. Have we got anything different, anything crazy coming out here, or are we going to see the same old stuff coming through?
Possible. Keeps saying he's trying to hide stuff at the moment. And I'm not he's talking about the greatsword and the power build that he was just playing. And I'm not going to say what he's saying to me. I'm a bit put off by what he's whispering. Stop it. Leave me alone. It's something new and different. I didn't have enough time to really look for it because I wanted to go through the builds quite quickly. We're going to start the game now. Wanted to go back into the build because he's using a more tanky Mesmer build here. We can go back through that in another time. Denshi playing Condi Rev. We've got another Condi Rev coming out from Pharos as well as Syndra playing for that Engineer Scrapper build, as well as Rom going for, of course, the Druid. Then we've got Carvug maybe going back onto, no, he's gone for Zerka here. Skovo playing Soldiers, Ellie, and then Badaka. He's going to be still going for Marauders there with Staff and Greatsword, of course, as well. A lot more damage coming out from him. Demon Lord going for that Condi Rev, and then Honey going for Soldiers with Sentinel here, actually, just looking for a more tankability there. Rather just keeping the points, maybe getting the decaps and staying alive a little bit longer.
Certainly will be. And we'll see if they're going to be able to stay alive that little bit longer, and whether it's going to make the difference and make this a 1-1 matchup, and see if we go to a third map. So far, we just had 2 zeros today. Orange logo with 1 on the board. They're looking to turn this into the third 2-0. But Purple Noise, they're certainly not going to go out without a fight. And if their name is anything to go on, they're certainly going to be coming through kicking and screaming. The Demon Lord managing to do an excellent job there of just kiting away and managing to top himself up again.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, like Purple Noise, I feel like they're slowly making some not bad progress here. You know, they've got a lot of work to do. We know that. Everyone knows that. But I still feel like they're making some progress in terms of, you know, even just moving around the map, working as a team, just as I say that, of course, giving us a bad spy. Crystal Hibernation coming out there as well as the shield. 5, is he going to be able to get away here? He's doing okay, gets rid of those conditions, but still needs to get some support from his teammates. Oh, he's so involved on the point at the moment, he could just kite away, but maybe he's worried that he's not going to be in the range for his support, much like you saw in the last game over on this node, with 55 just separated it completely. He does survive, and Skover actually lightning flashes away there. He needs to be very careful now. See, this is what's great about this the staff, you can move off point, and still you've got such a long range that can support. And he's in a 1v1 now, and he can actually sustain himself a little bit longer. He's not got any shouts left, so he needs to be careful. Let's have a look at what else is going on. Honey is having some problems. She's not going to do any damage versus Rom, but actually, you know, she can still interrupt sort of a lot of what he's doing. He's actually not going too badly for her.
No, she's going to be able to just kite around there and at least keep that decapped and just hang on for a little while. But she does seem to be slowly but surely losing out on that one. But Skovo, he's not losing slowly. He's been dropped into that down state. Is anyone going to be there to get the res off? I can't quite see under the barrier, but they are going to be able to get him back onto his feet. And look at that. Their health bars immediately almost back up to full. But it's going to be Honey dropped into down state in the 1v1 over towards the windmill. That is going to be Rom. Slowly but surely will get the execute there. Dinch,
but
though,
look,
he's going to be dropped as well. Sin incredibly low as well. And actually, this might just be the opportunity Purple Noise need.
Yeah, almost. Unfortunately, they aren't able to get back and aren't actually able to get that complete demotion of life, unfortunately. Just temporary. They put him back up there into the position it needed to be in. But now, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able to get anything out of this. Feel like they're pulling away. They are indeed starting to disengage. All members are. Demon Lord goes towards the mid to potentially get the decap there. It looks like it's just trying to get up, actually, at the moment. Farrell's and himself in that for 1v1, which might be quite interesting to go to. But Orange Logo grabbing himself the 2 cap here. Darker drops quite low himself. Interrupts on the heel. No, and does get away in the end. Does need to make sure he's going to be okay. And gets back through the point successfully. Honey and Skovo being there to support him and bring him up to full HP there. Very beneficial. Good job from them. But now look, Carver's going, no, this is not a good 1v1 for him at all. No. I mean, the burst damage isn't bad, but the Condi is really where it's going to have the most luck. And Rom is almost just laughing at him at the moment. This isn't great for Carver, although
the power of the Afro is slowly but surely melting Carver's HP away. Demon Lord, though, there's nothing slow about the fact that he's down on the ground. Honey trying to get that res off, but she's going to be interrupted. The cleave is coming out, and it looks like Demon Lord is going to go down here. So the man advantage now taken by Orange Logo, and they're going to be looking to turn this into more. They're looking for the 3 cap right now. They've already got 2 for themselves, and they just need to not let up on this pressure. And the game will be just about in the bag if they can just continuously hold on to this momentum that they've got going in their favor. Carver trying to do what he can here, down to half HP, but Honey will be there to support him, keep him up in this 2v2.
I mean, Carver, a very good engineer. I mean, I just think that matchup wasn't the best for him to go for at that point in time. They're challenging the 1v1 for Rom. The one thing that as well to note about Rom is that he's like one of the main driving forces of the team. It must be difficult for him to not be so involved in team fights just as he gets into a team fight, and that's what I'm talking about. But now he can push back into the map. He's looking out, he's using his sword to disengage from the midpoint and using it to get back on towards this point now. But of course, great wall there by Honey, and Rom just walks straight back into it there, and that's a great decap from Honey in all honesty. And, you know, a bit unfortunate, really, that Rom just ran into it twice in a row. But now we are going to see Badaka coming over towards this point. And this is what they need to do. They need to 2-1 Rom if they're going to defeat him. But look, they see the call answer, but he ports back over towards the midpoint in downstate. And unfortunately, no one is going to be in place to get that res. Carver's running Zerk Rune. He's 1v3 on that node. Obviously, that's going to change quite soon, because Skovo and Demon Lord have got down Frostball quite low. He's held it sustained for quite a long time here, but this is a big lead. Blue team only start to get their points on the board at the moment.
Well, Purple Noise, they've got a cap for themselves, and if there's one thing you've learned about me, Jeb, I'm a big fan of the underdog. Purple Noise, they're coming back into this game, and they're looking to turn this into a 1-1.
It's a powerful comeback.
It certainly is.
They're 12-point score at the moment.
Hey, they're on their way. If they can get the decap onto mid, then they'll be a cap ahead of their opponents. Carver is going to be able to get the res by the looks of things, and that turns this into a 2v1 down underneath the clock tower. Feroz could be in a little bit of trouble, but looks like they're going to decide to ignore him and move straight up towards the node and potentially around other areas of the map. We'll see what Purple Noise do and whether they're going to be able to find a way to turn this into a 2-cap or at least oh no.
He gets locked down off point. That was a little, that was tiny
That was
mistake.
the opposite of turning it into a 2-cap, guys.
Yeah,
I was trying to sing your praises. I was trying to cheer for you, but
it's just unfortunate that happened just off node as well. Like, That was so unlucky. Oh, the Vapor Form through the portal. We haven't seen this play for a long time, and he brings it back, the old school, and then goes for the contest. There we go. I've missed that move so much. Not having portal obviously is a thing, or Mist Form, sorry, from the Vampiroons that we saw for such a long time. I didn't mind those plays sometimes when you saw him jump through a portal and were able to do that. But over here on the windmill as well, it's still back to the 2-cap for a 40-point lead. This is 20 points. Game feels like it's drawn to a bit of a close here. Still got half the game left in terms of time.
And exactly in, well, I say exactly not exactly in points. Because we didn't hit 250, we went 249 and then 251, just so that I was wrong. But
should have said something in between, like
I should have. Anyway, clock tower. There's a fight going on, and it's gonna be actually Scover's already gone down somewhere on the map, finally respawning. But Honey and Carver not having a good time here. Rom actually started to feel the pressure and might in fact go down. The power of the Afro keeping him alive though, but he finally drops. Have the hair clippers come on out here.
The Afro
got a little bit of a stutter.
Way too much for my PC to apparently deal with. Wow.
It's too much for my emotions to deal with. Never mind the PC.
My emotions have been destroyed by someone's hairstyle. That's brilliant.
That's not the first time it's happened to me.
It happens to me all the time.
I actually had a friend in school that had an afro, and it was truly a masterpiece, I must say. But Dinch actually, he's going to be going down as well. Feroz feeling the pressure. He's dropped into downstate. The Rezzers just nowhere to be seen. But as I say that, Feroz is going to be able to get back onto his feet. Rom once again being focused though. Going to be able to sustain himself a little bit better. But there we go, the capture point in favor of Purple Noise over towards the windmill now, and it looks like Orange Logo deciding to back away from this one.
Yeah, I mean they've got the 2-cap. They don't want to lose it right now. I mean, I don't feel like even if Purple Noise picked up the 2-cap with the 1 node sustained, you know, obviously that's a future thing that might maybe happen. Rom's just keeping members over here at the moment, and Scovo is kind of hanging around because he's just pushing Rom away. But now Rom knows he can potentially, that was a nice knockback using the glyph there, gets a couple of decaps on that. And in the end, you know, I mean, actually they've got the fence there on this node. You know that potentially they might be able to get something out of that decap, but Scovo is going to position himself quite low unless he gets locked down off point, which we saw before. But Darker comes over for the quick +1, but Scovo is doing okay. He hasn't lost many decaps here. In fact, he got one back. And now we're going to see the Revenant coming back over. Farrell's comes over to 2v2 this, and they're going to push again for this node with so much pressure because they can, because they know it's a really good place to push actually, because blue team have got to go all the way over to Windmill to get anything out of this. We've still got Frostball over on the mansion, and really, because the opposite team haven't got much tankability coming out from their Mesmer, they don't have to worry too much about not having Frostball in fights, because still, they're able to win it, as you can see right now.
Yep, and that's the power of the Afro there. Rom going to be able to get that.
You're really not going to get
loving it. I'm loving it. It's going to be the next one to go down.
That's a good.
Actually, the Rez not quite able to come out. Demon Lord trying to do what he can there, but he's just going to be focused down. Instead, the Cleave comes out and Demon Lord will fall. But Darker is just about finished bleeding out, and the execute being channeled by Dinch will finish off Demon Lord. So, 2 men down, the outnumber in favor of Orange Logo here, and they get the 3-cap. That is going to be the end of the game. It's going to be all she wrote for Purple Noise here as the final few points just tick on in. Orange Logo, they're going to be able to take this series against Purple Noise, the Battle of the Colors, 2-0 in relatively convincing fashion as well, to be quite honest.
Yeah. And that is all she wrote, like you said. You know, really, in all honesty, quite dominating force from Orange Logo. And that's going to, even, you know, going against the team that was in the lower part of the league as well as themselves, that's still going to give them a little bit of a morale boost and momentum towards the rest of the season, hopefully, as well. And
it's what we were saying before as well, is that pushes them to 2-2 now. Yeah. They're now neutral. It's not like, oh God, we're near the bottom of the, we're going negative. It's not really going that well. Now they're neutral. It's like, okay, we're a middle of the table team now. If we can just, if they get their next win, then they're going to be heading towards the top side of the bracket. But that is going to be a good victory there for Orange Logo, as you say, raising their morale, and 2-0 over Purple Noise. Commiserations to Purple Noise now at 0-4 in the league. But I mean, we should have a winners interview lined up. Going to be able to get Rom available So we'll be
Oh,
able
wow. I haven't spoken to Ron for a while,
to
actually, so this is going to be good.
ask him about his hairstyle.
Actually, maybe he can give some information on what's currently going on for his team as well as himself in the past few weeks.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to hear from this man, indeed. So
it certainly will be. So, I mean, Orange Logo doing a really phenomenal job. I feel that just complete control of the map throughout the games, just not really allowing Purple Noise to have any leeway to do anything. There was a couple of times where we did see Purple Noise grabbing a couple of sort of caps and things, but they weren't really able to get anything too convincing.
No, they're mixing it up. At least they're still trying things. They need to try and get, Levin was talking about scrim partners and able to practice more regularly. Consistency in terms of your team not dropping members and whatnot as well. There's so many factors that Purple Noise have to deal with. Something similar in terms of Orange Logo and the comp and the consistency in that way. That's a similar situation that both teams are in. But, Orange Logo have got a lot more experience. They've been at that top tier for such a long time. I mean, top tier. Going to so many big tournaments as well. Live lands. They've got that experience, which is so important, and that really comes out, especially in these teams, in these situations as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's find out as we are going to bring Rom up. So, hello, Rom. Congratulations on your 2-0 over Purple Noise today. How are you guys feeling now that you're back in neutral pegging, or level pegging, I suppose, 2-2 on the scoreboard?
Hello. It feels... Well, we kind of knew we had this today.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of knew it. And then the thing is, for us, is that we've had, like, this rough patch. After we lose the first... 2 weeks ago, we lost versus Vermilion. With Tage disappearing a day before. So we had to change the entire composition. We had to use a DPS Mesmer, which I think everybody understood kind of didn't really work in this Condi Rev meta. So we had the scrims like ready up for Vermilion, but then we couldn't even use what we wanted. And then the week after, we have to have a new member. We're not sure if we are gonna play what we used or the, so to say, meta comp right now, but we realized that we need to do it. This is the strongest thing we can run at the moment. So now kind of we are back. Sadly, it took some, mid-season roster changes and gameplay differences and stuff like this. It kind of hurts the team, But if we were to fight these teams today, we would defeat them.
Okay, so feeling a lot more confident now that you've had a little bit more time to
we had 0 scrims before. Now we had a few hours of actual practice with this roster, and we're back in it.
Okay, that's really good to hear, man. Because obviously, I've casted you guys for some major tournaments and stuff as well. So personally, for me, as a fan of all the teams and the guys in Guild Wars 2 and the EU, it was, and a lot of people in Twitch chat maybe as well who've supported you over the last few months, seeing you guys lose a couple of series and losing, Tage as well, has been, a bit of an experience, It's been sad. I've been
emotional roller coaster.
It is. It's because they've been such an important part. So it's really good to hear that you feel that confidence. Not saying you weren't confident about coming back, because I'm sure that was definitely already there, because it's you, and you're always confident. That's a good thing. So losing Tage as well. Not just in terms of losing consistency in your comp and having to get a new member in, but how really. And I don't want to ask the really deep-seated questions, but it's difficult, isn't it? Especially because you guys have been so solid together for such a long time.
I mean, it is for sure a core member. It's like me and Denshi and Tage have played for what, 3 years now? Yeah. It's a long time. It's a long time. And then the thing is that it's no biggie having a stand-in, for example. But it's about the role the stand-in has. I mean, maybe putting a bunker mesmer as a stand-in instead of the. For example, the double Condi Rev training. Those two people are kind of severe. They have to have some synergy. They have to know their shit together. And if they do, that's when they are deadly. And, we had that settled. Then we had to change it entirely. And with 0 practice, that's how it goes sometimes. But, yeah, I don't feel like any sorrow, about any situation. Because I only see for the future. And I think we will give... I think we can actually give a good
Okay.
good competition for the top teams now. I think so.
Well, I think
And
that's
after the patch tomorrow, we'll see differences there as well.
That's true. There is
So,
some
yeah.
significant differences. For sure.
There is.
okay. Well, that's definitely the best mindset I think to have is always
Yeah.
be looking
You
towards the
have
future.
to. You really have to.
So
Especially if you're a team, like just making sure you push forward and get back into it. Don't let
Yeah.
something get you down too much. And that's why they're coming back.
don't
and
get
so hard
stuck
for
wading
teams.
through the mud.
Yeah, exactly. That's
But-
one way of putting it.
One final question I have for you, Rom. Talk me through the stylistic choices. With I've got to know about the afro. I need to get that for my.
I'm not quite sure. I just made this amazing, beautiful, strong, independent woman, Char, and
You're absolutely right.
yeah, I found the amazing dress for it, the pink and the yellow features. It's just perfect. And then of course the Wilma from Flintstone hair I found.
That's right. Yeah, I knew I'd seen that somewhere. I knew it.
I think I'm going to have to message you in
She's
game
beautiful,
and
yeah.
get instructions on how to get one of those for myself. But that's all the time we have. Thank you for talking to us, Rom, and good luck in the rest of the
Thank you.
season.
Good luck, you boys.
See you, bud.
Okay, so we are going to be heading into a short break, but do not go anywhere because following the break, we have Car Crash up against the Civilized Gentlemen. Now, TCG, in our interview last week, they seemed overwhelmingly confident moving forward into the rest of the season.
I was going to say, yeah, Helseth not being confident and not being. I don't know. I don't really know how to. He's just a different person to anyone I know. He's, the confidence just oozes out of him. He's very, people love him, people hate him. We love to watch him, though, don't we, people? If we're honest, even if we don't like the guy, it's always good to watch.
It's always good to have characters, but we'll find out if Helseth is going to be on the stream again later, or whether Car Crash are going to be able to put a stop to his reign. We'll find out in just a few minutes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to the ESL Guild Wars 2 Pro League. My name is Joe. This guy is Dan.
Are you trying to change up your intro?
Yeah, well, I
You tried
realized
to do it.
I realized right before I began that
And
I
you-
hadn't thought of anything to change it
Okay.
up, so I just
See what
so I just did that, whatever that was.
You made the production crew laugh at the very
Yeah, I
least.
did. So fingers crossed I made someone else laugh as well. It wasn't
Oh, I
myself.
laughed, but I laugh
Usually
at everything.
usually I'm the only one that laughs at my jokes, so it's good
Okay.
that someone else
I'll
I
laugh
guess
just to make you
I don't know
feel
if it was a
better.
joke though. Maybe they were laughing at
Oh.
me rather than with me.
Eh,
Just like in school.
Joe's getting
Not
emotional
really,
tonight,
not really.
people. It's clearly been a long day. I don't know what
It
you've
has
been
been a
up
long
to,
day
but
actually.
hey.
I've been all over Europe today. It's,
Yeah.
it's been an adventure.
To say the least.
Yeah, let's take a look at our standings for today and get our final best of 3 underway. It is going to be TCG up against Car Crashed. We've had 2 zeros across the board so far. And we'll see if Car Crashed are going to be able to take on TCG, who, I mean, they're only 2-1 in the standings so far, but they have played up against one of our top 2 teams already. So I do definitely feel like they will be one of the teams up at the very top towards the end of the season.
Yeah, Orange Logo and Vermilion left. Really, those games are going to be making or breaking it for them. And those Orange Logos start to bring up some momentum back into the scene for themselves. You know, it's a good time for them for that to happen, obviously. And TCG might even be worried about that. But obviously, we've got to go into this series first and see what's happening with them. Car Crashed doing okay at the moment.
Yeah.
Not
2-1.
actually, maybe a lot of people were surprised they're in the Pro League in the first place, actually, in all honesty, coming through qualifiers. And now they're here to try and upset, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
Just a sliver of a chance. Very, the underdog story. Here you go, mate.
Here we go. Car Crash, do me proud. Let's have a look at our map intro one last time. It is going to be Legacy of the Faux Fire to kick off this best of 3.
A throwback to Guild versus Guild from the original Guild Wars, the Legacy of the Faux Fire has teams vying for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Locked away within each team's keep resides the Guild Lord. Killing the enemy team's Guild Lord will grant your team 150 points, potentially swaying the outcome of the match. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are on the Legacy of the Faux Fire, our final best of 3 of the day. It's going to be Car Crashed up against TCG. Car Crash going to be starting off on the red side. Let's take a look at the builds they're going to be bringing to the fight.
Ken Scout's going to be playing, obviously, going for Beast Mastery. Wilderness and Druid here, of course. Not something to go for. Druidic Clarity, actually. And they've got 2 Revenants as well, so I'm a little bit surprised that he's not going for that. But he's going for, obviously, more on the stuff, and then he's going to grab himself Signet of Renewal, which we haven't really seen played a lot today. Actually, I don't think we've seen it played at all, in all honesty. But that's going to help his Condi, of course. And then Illusion of Sam is going to be playing probably Bunker Mesmer, but I'm going to go and check the amulet for, for once on the Mesmers to make sure. He's going for Celestial here as well. Most people going for Sentinel and Soldiers as well, but he can actually bring himself a little bit more Condi damage as well, potentially, as well as obviously we've got the healing power kind of start coming out for himself. Let's have a look. Obviously going for Inspiration, Chaos, and also for Chronomancer. And then Super as well, he's going to be going for the typical NG build that we've been seeing coming out, as well as Blackjack. And they're playing double Mesmers today, but he's going to be going with that Portal there as well. So let's go back to Sam. He's got double Portal as well. So we've got double Portal, we've got Gravity Well coming out for him, double Gravity Well, double everything. And they're bringing it out today. Nagnag going to be going for Condi Rev more than likely as well with the Vipers. And then we're going to go over to TCG and see what they're bringing out on the board as well. Vipers Amulet coming out for Freylina, which means he's playing a Condi Rev, of course. Lord Helseth going to be playing Soldiers, Bunker Support, Mesmer here as well. And Karzed's going to be going with the Condi Rev as well, which we've obviously seen all day. Just double checking Helseth for a second there as well, because people are surprising me today, because people are starting to change some things up. I'm going to see Elementalist.
That's what we like to see.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's good. It's a good idea, especially like going into something, some potential big changes coming out, even in a tiny little balance patch. It's not really balance patch. It's more of a balance adjustment. tomorrow. And then we've got Lord of Surrey. He's going to be playing Staff Soldier, Celestial, all the things, all the typical things. Cleansing Water there as well. It's obviously going for Diamond Skin. That's going to be happening until 2 Revenants. One third Conduit damage is gone on the team. Although, you know, maybe he didn't need to use that so much today. Draze as well, obviously going to be playing the typical engineer build here as well, with the Scrapper, the power of Thunderclap, and Slick Shoes. Obviously, might stacking through his stuff.
Through his ability to stack might.
Through his elixirs.
Here we are. We are ready to get this game.
I was put off by his hammer there, if I'm honest. Which is, I was like,
it's literally an anvil on a stick.
Yeah, that's the new Heart of Thorns weapons, I think. Oh no, it might be actually from the tickets. I can't remember. But yeah, it's literally an anvil in between like a branch from a tree. They probably got it from here somewhere. I'm not too sure. The reason I'm talking randomness is because we are mentioning that we are indeed ready to go. And Car Crash, this could be a good pickup for them. TCG cannot really lose any games at the moment.
No,
they're on the edge. You know, they've got some big games themselves coming up later in the season as well. But they need to make sure they win this game to put themselves in that 2 top spot, of course. Wanting to get to the finals later in the season. After the season.
I mean, they certainly will be. Why would you not want to be going to the finals if you're in the Pro League?
Yeah.
Why that wouldn't be your goal, I have no idea. But we are going to see them heading onto the map. We are going to see them heading onto the map, apparently. According to myself.
We beseech you. Go onto the map and do things.
Oh my
Mighty
goodness.
things.
Nagnag is very much on the map and he's feeling the pain already. Might just be about to go down at a very early stage. He's going to be able to get the heals as Illusion of Sam comes in to save the day and save his teammate. That was a very dangerous start for Nagnag there. I thought he was actually going to go down in that 2 versus 1.
Yeah, that null field is really useful for boon stripping as well, and especially versus Lord Sir. There's and Freylina here is removing a lot of potentially even, you know, resistance and whatnot that's coming out, any potential stuff. Boons, which are really, really beneficial. And here Lady Nagnag does go down, but Sam shouldn't be too bad. There's not a lot of cleave coming out from these guys to make sure they go down. And the rezzing capability, you know, they've got Mesmer's in a really, really good spot to get the res there. 1v1 between Kazes and Super over here. Could go either way, actually, at the moment. The Engineer deals a lot better with conditions at the moment. And it's very underrated and underspoken about, because this build is fantastic. And Kazes is actually having a few problems trying to finish him off here, but I feel like he's drawn Super out the point for a reason there as well. And that's going to be an important 1v1. But we're going to have a look over towards the other side of the map, and Draze is having quite a few problems here, as he does drop quite low. But we do see Super does drop low over on the waterfall, but I want to stay in this fight as well. There's too many places to be, as this series could be the most exciting actually we've had in all day so far, even though it's 0-0. Oh, that goes down mid.
He certainly does. Finally gets dropped down, but he is going to be res, as you say, and the 2v2 going to continue in the middle of the map. Super, though, starting to feel the pressure a little bit here in the 1v1. Kazes trying to do his best to finish off that man, but obviously Engineer relatively difficult to take down, especially in that 1v1. It's hard to get enough pressure out to be able to finish that target off. So across the board, very even start for these guys, but Can Scout might just be in trouble, as well as Super slowly but surely losing out this 1v1. Super does manage to survive this one, and Can Scout is going to be able to top himself, or at least get himself back up to half HP once again. Super, though, he's dropped into downstate, and he's got reinforcements from Nagnag, in fact. It's going to turn into a 2v2. Super's back onto his feet, and the battle for the waterfall continues.
Yeah, I mean, this is good. Lord of Surrey now can support Kazes, and he can go full ham here. Super is actually going to go towards mid. Are they going to completely disengage this here? They've lost the cap, so that's indeed what they're going to do. Nagnag just trying to hold them up. I feel like he needs to back over towards mid, and they're going to try and win the bigger team fight while getting the Mesmer here. Now, this is actually not too bad. I'm going to say Mesmer, because they've got 2 Mesmers, but they've not got them over on the mid at the moment. They will do soon. And in this 2-man fight here, oh, that's a great gravity well comes out. Can Scout is feeling the pressure at present, gets his Celestial Avatar, and he'll be able to regenerate himself significantly there. Good dodge as well. You're going to see the null field coming out. Conditions removed. Oh, needs to get back onto point potentially to get the support, but he's going to choose to bail away here. Actually, we've got downstate coming out of Nagnag over on the midpoint, and now Illusion of Sam is going to have to struggle to try and keep himself sustained 1v2 here. But it should be okay for a little bit of time. Time Walk coming out as well. Just saw the decap coming out on the waterfall as well on the map.
Yeah, certainly did. And It looks like Illusion of Sam will now finally fall. The downstate coming into play, and he will be going down. So the Graveyard might just have been won out here by TCG, and they're going to be looking to turn this into a 2-cap as well as they send 2 people over towards that waterfall, force the man advantage, and start to maybe take control of this map in general. Super doing a good job to try and kite this one out, but he needs to stay on the node for as long as he possibly can right now. Not much health to be talked about though, and that is going to be him. Actually, no, manages to block most of the damage there.
Yeah, Elixir S proc came out just as we saw Unrelentless Assault coming out from the Sword of the Revenant there, of course. Good timing. It's not really something you can control, but hey-ho. Blocks a lot of that damage coming in from Frey, but still, you know, the NG can... The NG can't get the kill very quickly. He can sustain it for a while, but he'll normally lose that fight, you know, goes down there in the end. Just because of the amount of Condi pressure and the amount of application. It's not just Condi pressure, it's re-application of the conditions through so many abilities from the Revenant that really makes that build so strong, especially versus NG. Like, they've always been had issues with Condi, but a lot more survivable to condition damage than in the past. But still, you know, any class is very difficult against maybe Abram and the Ranger in the 1v1. But we are going to see Blackjack over on the midpoint now as well, being focused a little bit, so he needs to be careful. He's not really got many cooldowns either. Tries to use the Chaos Storm to just give himself a little bit more survival and a little bit more protection as well as he gets the Chaos Armor up. But let's have a look over towards the... This is not a bad fight actually for Can Scout here over on this node, especially seeing as Helsef's the only Mesmer on TCG. And we've talked about them, how important they need to be in these fights.
Yeah, we absolutely have, and we'll see how that pans out in the 1v1. Drazza, though, he's feeling the pressure here. He's being focused down as he tries to just kite his way around that fight in the middle of the map. This 2v2 seems to be the one where the action's going down, and Drazza again getting so low. He's very close to going down. They're trying to finish him off, but he's going to be able to sneak away underneath the
sneak
gyro.
Indeed. It's the main reason he survives that there as well, you know.
Yeah.
And now he knows that Helsef needs to be there to help support his teammates or himself. So now we might even just see Drazza switch up, or is he going to go for the +1 kill onto Can Scout, get the quickness and whatnot as well that he needs. And we might actually see Helsef moving back over towards the other side. But actually, Blackjack moves into it because he's forcing it, and now that's a better situation. And that's what's good about TCG controlling. They move into that position now, of course, where they can 2v2, and the Mesmer is a lot more useful. We see the cap coming out over on the midpoint. We're going to see the res potentially on Super here as well. That's a good res as well. Obviously, we've got the Mesmer. It's inevitable that that's going to happen. Nag gets the mid cap. So here we go. Potential to come back into this game. Now, pardon me. The one thing that may really catch TCG out is double portal coming out from Car Crashed. They've got 1 cap. Even the game is going so slowly at the moment that even a Lord kill, they're only going to get it based on how the game's going at the moment. Another 50 points maybe for TCG if they get it. Still, Car Crashed have got going to have 50 points. Maybe not too far in the future, unless we see a decap. Can Scout's in a 1v1 mid, so that's a good matchup there. But, you know, Lord Rush, 150 points. Kabang, win it. Even if you just sustain the map forever, you can get a nice cap like that. But the thing is, because they're so sustained, you're going to be supporting each... the Lord kill's going to be so long and so elongated that you have to bring enough time as well.
Drazza, though, has been knocked down into that downstate. The rest being channeled, but Can Scout is going to get executed. I think Can Scout ended up losing out in the middle of the map. Illusion of Sam is going to be there, though, so the decap not quite going to be able to come out here.
They might need to even move the team fight to mid and just sustain it so they are in the point range. See, this is the choice that Car Crash have got now. Lady Nag goes down. What are they going to do? Because if they stay on this point now as well and they don't get Nag up, which I think is going to happen indeed, then they just need to pick their points on the map. At least we've got 2 Mesmers playing for Car Crash at the moment that they're able to easily sustain. Can Scout's going to go mid 1v1 if they choose to push it, and the other Mesmer can come over here for Car Crash. And that's what's powerful about having a 2 Mesmer comp. You can sustain even with 1 man down, and now they need to use that to the full potential. Blackjack can just go off point. He could have gone off point for a little bit longer there, although maybe he was worried about one of the Revenants porting onto him. But now, you know, this is not too bad. And actually, Super's going to +1 over on the midpoint. Or is he going to go for the 1v1 versus Lord Asura? No, Kanskat, this is good. Oh, that's a really good rotation, and that makes Lord Asura has to push back, so he can't. Super literally scares him away and makes him think that maybe he's going to hold the mid cap, but Kanskat able to push, telling him that he can 1v1, and Kanskat 1v1ing on that node, D-cap, that's actually a really good push there from Car Crash.
It certainly is, and Car Crash, they're really putting up a good fight. They're only 30 points down right now. Blackjack, though, might just be the next one to fall here. He's trying his best to kite away, and it looks like he did end up inside his base, so he's going to be able to live to fight another day. Super in a 1v1 against Freylina, but it's going to be Draza who's starting to take the damage. And across the fights, they've been incredibly sustained, regardless of where we're looking on the map. The fights seem to be very, very even, and with TCG being kind of one of the names that you expect to be just winning out,
yeah,
Car Crash is doing a phenomenal job.
They are. I mean, you know, this 2 Mesmer comp is really helping. Unfortunately, they lose Super and midpoint. They need to make sure they support this well. And the only problem here about the Ranger coming for the decap versus Lord Asura is look what he's doing. He's just putting his back up against the fence, because one of the reasons this is so strong in getting the decaps, it's not just the best, it's you can decap it quite well. It takes a little bit of time, but at the moment, you know, we're so sustained. Getting a decap anywhere is very, very important. So that obviously comes out. Sam goes for the res mid. Of course, that's going to come out in the end. Nice gravity roll, unfortunately. Not able to interrupt that res in the end. But, you know, Lord Asura is doing a perfect job over there. And to be honest, Kanskat feels like, oh, it gets the pull out maybe as well. Yeah, it's still slow. We could see a finish with Lord Rush, which we haven't. Have we seen that yet in Pro League?
Actually, we've
well,
seen
other than
TCG try and do that.
a
and
clutch
it
Lord
kind
Rush,
of
I'll say.
failed miserably.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it's certainly in TCG's horizons to try and go for something like that. I would love to see that kind of an ending, and I would love to see...
I think it'll come out from Car Crash.
Well, it has to
for
come out
anyone.
from Car Crash, doesn't it? Because they're behind in points unless they somehow get a cap in the next couple of minutes.
Look where they are as well, on this side of the map. This is perfect. Like, if they can get everyone in a position where they're pushing towards this side of the map and get someone to get a portal down, they've got 2 Mesmers. They've got infinite quickness, but if they die over on this side... Oh, look!
Oh, God.
And the wipe coming out. Blackjack almost going down as well. Super downstate. Oh, no. This is going to be powerful. No, don't go for the res. He needs to stay alive. That's why he did that. And they don't get the res in the end. That's really big. Illusion of Sam's here as well. And they're sustaining on this cap at the present. Kanskat moves to mid. Now, are they going to be able to hold long enough for them to make sure they can still sustain this cap? They're respawning now. Everything really hatches on the fact that TCG don't just snowball this fight and move to mid and kill Kanskat really, really quickly. But look at the time, 3 minutes 30. It's probably the most exciting moment we've had today in the Pro League, in all honesty. And Lord Asura can just move back, because now he has to contest versus someone. Super is going to be in that 1v1. That's a good matchup for the team of Car Crash.
Certainly is. So they are still going to be able to keep their 1 cap, but this is going to be the 2 cap coming out for TCG. There's no one there remaining to contest the quarry.
Point. They're in a good position. They're Lord rushing, or less Lord. Word. Not sure. Karzaz, I think he's just using this as a distraction, really. Although Freylina is there as well, so maybe this is a full-on effort here. Does look like it possibly could be. But if Blackjack comes back and Sam, oh, they're pulling their Mesmers out of the map.
If they get
this is really good.
If TCG take this, they win the game.
This is no, but even if they don't, it doesn't. It feels like they probably will. But the thing is, even if they don't, look what they've done. 2 minutes 30 in the game. If they force a Lord Rush, they can't use portals to go for the Lord Rush on the opposite side. That's another reason why they may have gone for this. But at the moment, they haven't got enough regen, and that forces other members to come back from Car Crash as well. But look how much time they're wasting going over here. And Super knows it, so he knows that they've got to at least get the gate down to go for their own Lord Rush. But they have to defend. They push the blue team away. They waste 1 minute and 30 seconds here, and they're going to keep going. They're going to keep doing it.
Look,
why? Where's Blackjack? Is none of the Mesmers here currently trying to go for this Lord Rush? No. That's great movement from TCG. Look at the control. They're manipulating them so hard.
They're so close to getting to a point where the Lord Rush won't even be enough points to take that threshold.
Yeah.
They're trying to get they've got contestions on both of the 2 points that aren't Waterfall. They still are in control of Waterfall. They're a few points away, and if the rush happens, it has to be pretty much immediately. 1 minute 30 left on the clock, and Car Crash, basically they're just about out of time right now. Kazus did go down, though, so maybe this is what Car Crash need.
They're
maybe
they're respawning, though.
Scout.
Look, what are they doing currently at the moment? They need to move out. They're being so slow in their movement over, unless someone else is going for the rush here. No, they're just relying on Super to go for a one-man. I mean,
He's in a 1v1, though. He's actually being fought over this, so it's
he's
not
not
even...
going to win. He's not going to be able to go for the... He's not going to get the kill on Lord. I'm really confused by Car Crash movement at the moment. Blackjack is here currently. They've not got Port or Lever ready, sorry, unless they changed that over and I just completely didn't notice. They did! Like, I didn't actually notice. Maybe I was thinking about another game earlier, but there's no way Portal Play is going to come because they've not got Portal. If they'd stuck with Portals, that would have been really beneficial in this map, actually. Maybe that changed up, and maybe I was thinking about the other series we've had today. But no attempt to go for a Lord Rush. They've got 30 seconds left. Super's trying to go for it. What's the Lord on? Oh, maybe if CanScout can get here very quickly. They've got 30 seconds. This could be possible. No one else from TCG is here.
Okay, CanScout is on the way. Look at the points, though.
Oh my
They're so
good
close
Lord.
to being 50
they're
points
not.
ahead. They're going to be ahead. Civilized Gentlemen are too far ahead for the Lord Rush to work. They are 1 point ahead now. I don't think it's possible.
No, it's not.
Unless there's a cap comes out or like a couple of kills and the Lord Rush, it's not possible. There's only 5 seconds on the clock. It looks like TCG, they're going to be able to take this game. 1 second remaining. The Lord is going to survive. And after the full 15 minutes, and I've got to be honest, a much closer game than I think TCG were expecting. TCG are going to be able to just about edge the lead.
I don't know why I had in my head so much that these Mesmers had Portal. I mean, they must. I need to go back and watch that and actually just double check to see if they had Portal or if I was just thinking about the previous, because we've had so many different Mesmer bunker support builds today. But if they'd been running something like a Portal, you know, they could have used that to go to a quick Lord Rush at the end, towards the end. But it doesn't matter about that anyway. I just love the way TCG were pushing that Lord towards the end, making them not able to go for the Lord Rush. Yeah. Not only did they do that, they pulled both their Mesmers out from the map to defend. So that means there was no quickness, there was no support, there was no fast resing, there was no precog on point, no blur, no protection, hardly any support coming out for the guys. Okay, they've got independent builds where they can run individually quite well anyway. But that was just great thinking. It didn't even matter if they got the kill, obviously, on the Lord. They didn't. But it was just classic TCG mentality. Control the map, manipulate your opponents, put them in positions where you want them to be. But Car Crash had their moments there.
I mean, that's like the best kind of playstyle to some, or at least arguably, because
at the moment,
if you can
for sure.
force your opponent into a position where they basically have 2 choices and neither of them is a good choice, you automatically win, regardless of what they do, unless they have some kind of ridiculous play to come out. But
that was so good. It was very good.
Let's get this second map underway. It is going to be once again the Battle of Kylo. We'll see whether this one's going to turn into a 3-game series or whether it's going to be TCG taking this one 2-0. John, take us again with the map intro.
In the Battle of Kylo, players will fight for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Capturing these objectives can be quite difficult at times, as the enemy team may choose to rain fiery balls of death upon you from their trebuchet. The first team to 500 points wins.
So here we are on the Battle of Kylo, and we'll see how the battle pans out and who Kylo will belong to at the end of it. It is going to be Car Crashed up against TCG once again. And we are just going to have a little bit of a delay on the beginning of this match. We do have one of the players just quickly going to be going and restarting their router. Obviously didn't have his second one available right now. We'll have to see how this one's going to pan out. I mean, do you think Car Crashed have what it takes to get back in this series, or do you think this one's going to turn into a 2-0?
I do think, and maybe, you know, I was thinking about Portal so much because I just felt like they're running 2 Mesmers, that Portal would have been so beneficial. I feel like a Portal would be very beneficial right now as well. It's just the fact, on this map especially, for this team, I feel like it's going to be great for... Portal's good for mobility, no matter how you look at it. No matter what you say, Portal is very useful.
Yeah.
Especially when everything's so sustained, you can outnumber quickly. You know, it still takes time for people to get around the map. Problem is, opposite team has 2 Revenants. They can get Assassin stance. They can port from the bottom of Clock Tower very, very quickly to the top, outside of the building, and they can just move straight through it, like almost like Thief was, but even better because they can instantly get up towards the midpoint. But you know, you can equalize that up, and if they've got only 1 Revenant, then using a portal is another way to potentially move their team so they can actually be more mobile. So I feel like a 1 portal at least would be very beneficial for Car Crash. They've shown that they've been able to sustain the map to a degree when they're 4 members rather than 5. I'm just thinking, really. I mean, I'll have to wait and see. I don't think they're going to change it up because, you know, maybe they feel like the last game was closer than maybe they thought it was going to be. But I don't think that's a good enough reason to not maybe just change even that 1 utility up. I feel like it would be so beneficial.
The match
Absolutely.
starts soon.
We'll see whether they do opt to go for any changes, but we are going to be heading onto this map and potentially the final map of the night if the Civilized Gentlemen can take this victory. But Car Crash are certainly not going to go without a fight. They're looking to turn this into a 3-game series and stay in this match. It's going to be Car Crash on the red side up against TCG over on the blue side, and already both teams scurrying across the map to those nodes, and we'll see who's going to be able to start off with an advantage.
Canscout's going over towards Far versus the Engineer there. That's a good little matchup, actually. But again, another place where he can put himself up against that the gate on the side and make sure that he's not going to get decapped. 2v2 over here on the windmill as well. A potential last game of the day, maybe, if TCG do win. Time Walk comes out as well from Blackjack there, so let's have a look at his perspective. Or we'll go over towards the Engineer instead, Super. So he gets to try and potentially bring out some focus damage against Lord Asura. Now that's good. The NG really is really good, and is now one of the main reasons obviously is playing power damage mainly, so he's able to bring him past that diamond skin if he's using that again. Actually, something I need to double check. I'm not sure if he needs to. He's still using that as well in the earth, of course. You know, 90%. Then conditions can be applied to him as we go towards Nagnag mid. I'm not sure. How's it going over here?
Yeah, Nagnag just over half HP. It should be just about okay though. Those Revenants, very, very difficult to take down. They have a whole lot of ability to just kite around, and especially when running the Condi's going to be able to put out a lot of damage while doing so. Is feeling the pressure a little bit though, so does have to be a little bit cautious on this one. It's actually going to be Kaz's. Oh, nice shield coming out from him. Going to block a whole lot of damage coming out from Nagnag. And in fact, Kaz is going to retreat from this one, so a man advantage in the middle of the map in favor of Car Crash, but it's going to mean that he can head into this fight against Canscout. Yeah,
I mean, they know at the end of the day that it's going to be difficult for Drazza to do anything against Canscout significant here, and Kaz is just +1ing that up, forces someone else to move from that midpoint, and now Sam moves over towards the node. They get Canscout quite low. It's a good decision. They do get Nagnag down as well over on the midpoint, which definitely means, you know, that's the best move for Car Crash. So this is where it's going to start to obviously see some point score adding up for TCG. They've pushed over towards this side of the map. This is their home node as well, so if anyone dies, they can... Again, it's that map control. Let's have a look. What do Red Team have to do to come over to Mansion to try and back this up? They've got to send a man so far across the map. It's a great move, but we did see the addition of Blackjack towards mid, and that's good because they're counting that up. Now, Nagnag can just come over towards the windmill here and just +1 up this fight, which means Freylina now can't +1 over on mid. So Car Crash deal with that very well, although Canscout is in downstate at the moment.
Certainly is, and he will be going down. The Battle of the K's will go in favor of Kazas. So well played by him in the 1v1, and that is going to be TCG now on 10 points purely because of those 2 kills. But Car Crash doing a very good job to keep on contesting. Oh, Nagnag looking to deny that cap, but he's not going to be able to.
Good.
Oh, he jumped off though. He jumped off to attack, and now Nagnag is there. He should have just finished dropping it.
That was such a good pull. Oh my god, Karzez, man, he did such a good job there. Nagnag as well, getting on point, to be honest. Well, that was a great...
He got
interaction,
the
guys.
CC down and then like left the node.
Oh,
he should have just
look at
finished
that!
capping the node. Here it is.
Can't
It's the
stop.
decap still.
They're still keeping, because they know that no matter, like 5 points, losing 5 points is better than losing the cap at the moment for them. So they are, okay, they're feeding the nodes a little tiny bit from time to time, but a cap cannot be taken at the moment because of this meta. Like keeping a cap, lose you not so many points, but you aren't able to get them back. That's the problem, because the maps are so sustained. And I don't want to even think about how many times the map's gone to timer today, because it's very, very, you know, it's a true point. That's the way it is. So you don't want to get those caps, which is why I've seen people running onto point as soon as possible and using everything they can. Look at Super going down here pretty hard as well. Blackjack's not there. Sam's over on the mansion. They're not able to get the res, and Nagnak is punished hard for that, and no one is in a position to go for the cap mid, and they're going to grab that and grab some points on the map.
I feel like the cap on Clock Tower there was kind of a long time coming. Car Crash doing a very good job to delay it, but inevitably it does end up going over to TCG, and now look at this, the points are starting to stack. They had a decent amount of points just from getting those kills. I think they had 30 points from kills before the cap even came through. Helseth going to be able to just hang about in the middle of the map and just defend that point for his team.
There's where Kanscout is. He's got him targeted still, so that he's using his staff to find out where he is about on the map at the moment. And obviously, he's going to go mid now as well. And Kanscout can do a good job to just decap this. And I'm almost surprised at the Elementalist. I mean, Helseth's got more stability there actually as well. So, you know, it's going to be useful for him. He's going to be able to hold the cap a little bit better here. But now Red Team need to try and hold over towards this mansion. They need to get some kills to really catapult themselves back into this game. And I know I'm saying that with only 60-point lead, but that's a lot. They only have 10 minutes left in the game.
It certainly is. You've got to bear in mind, a third of the game has already passed, and if it stays at the same pace that it has been so far, then 60 points is a lot and could be the difference. I mean, 60 points was almost the difference in our first game of this series, but Nagnag is going to be dropped down. Is anyone going to be able to get the res, though? That's the question. Looks like they might be able to, and they are going to be able to get Nagnag back into this fight. So 3v3 continues, but TCG seeming to have the advantage in this fight. Just looking at health bars, they seem to just have that pressure onto their opponents, and Car Crash don't quite seem to be able to be executing the members of TCG.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, Helseth, it doesn't seem to matter that Helseth's not involved in these fights too much, because they're not actually, like you said, you're not able to get the damage pressure onto TCG so much so that they're forced to get the quickness and get the support they need to make sure they get the res, of course, and that's what's happening at the moment. And even the pressure, I would say, is more so onto Car Crash here. Sam obviously pulls out the blur there on the sword to make sure that he's not going to be taken out. Blurred Frenzy, of course, pulls out the null field as well, which offers up for a lot of support on this side of the map. But again, you know, no real pressure coming out onto the team.
No, absolutely not. Just pretty much a stalemate coming out, but that's perfect scenario for TCG because they have a cap and their opponents do not. They are more than happy to just have a stalemate all day long and just slowly but surely rack those points up. 110 in their favor now, and we need to see something come out for Car Crash soon, because unless they get more than just one cap, it's going to take quite a while for them to catch up in points.
I mean, this what I was talking about earlier. Helseth at the moment is winning the game for his team. Other than obviously the whole team over on the other side of the map, this is a very important 1v1. May seem boring, but it may seem boring, but it is. He's able to get stability through shattering and whatnot as well. He's getting a lot of boons through his build, and he's keeping the point. Look, it's just ticking. Car Crash getting nothing over on the mansion. Absolutely diddly squat, and thank God I said diddly instead of something else. And Illusion of Sam now going down. Okay, they can get the reses all day. Okay, they can get the kills every so often, / not doing that. But they're not able to actually get anywhere on the map. Why are they not changing this? Blackjack is 1v1 on the windmill. This is going to go on all day. And if they don't change anything up, they are throwing this game. They're saying, TCG, here's your plate, here's the game, eat it up. is
Yeah.
another 3 points.
They are absolutely serving up TCG's dinner right now. They need to change something up. They need to go for a rotation. Even just do something a little bit off the wall. Maybe
Look at
something
their
that
HP,
is
they're
kind
not
of
even doing
untried.
anything. This is just frustrating me at the moment. I'm getting angry, Joe.
tell.
The
I can
card
tell,
crash,
mate.
because they just need to move out of it. It's not helping them. How? Okay, they might get a kill in a minute, but are they going to get the map sustained? Look where they are. Let's have a look where we are, guys. Blue team respawn here. They run over to Mansion. They get back in the map straight away. Someone is finally moving out of this side of the map and to try and get something at mid because, like I said, Hellseth's winning the game with the rest of the team. And they have been manipulated for the entire game so far. They have not got a kill. They have not got a cap. I don't even know if they've got a decap because I've forgotten what happened 10 minutes ago because we've been watching them playing the same thing over and over again. Car crash, come on, move into the map, do something different.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to be able to get anything. We haven't seen any decaps. We've only seen one cap come out in this entire game, and that is still being held by TCG. It's going to be Hellseth in that middle part, but
Freylina did
does
go down. Yes. But look, here we go. Oh no, they're able to take advantage of it. Now Karzis goes down as well. So this isn't too bad. Now they can plus up. Better from Car Crash. Good guys, there we go. They needed that decap. Now they need to kill everyone. And I mean, it sounds easier than what it is. But they got Freylina down, they got Karzis. So now they've been 4 men on the map now for about 30 or 40 seconds. They're going to get mid-cap, and then CanScout is the best man to hold that if they force team fights on the side, which is what they need to do right now. So now they've got still 1v1. Hellseth will keep this contested. Leave it alone, because this is fine. You've got one cap now. Don't force the team fight where he is, and they can continue with this Mansion fight. This is what they needed to do a little bit of time ago, but the thing is, killing Freylina as well was something which really helped that fight and that rotation come out as well. Time Warp comes out, and now 4 minutes. Maths fails me, but anyway.
I think they need more than one cap because TCG had that cap for longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And they also got a bunch of kills as well. So I think the 2 cap has to come out. They have to somehow manage to find a victory in this fight, but it's not going to happen if Sam goes down. He is in that down state, and it doesn't look like, oh, the res is going to be able to come through in the end, and he gets back up onto his feet. Are they going to be able to turn the pressure around, though? Are they going to be able to try and get someone from the blue team down, because it's Sam dropping into downstate once again. Nagnag trying to get the res. Well, he's going to get cleaved down himself, and this could be disaster for Car Crash right now, because 2 of them are taken down. CanScout looking for the res, but he's not going to be able to find it. He's abandoned the midpoint at this stage, but it is going to be both of them dropping, and that is going to be 5 versus 3 now on the map. Terrible, terrible news for Car Crash, because the Mansion might just be about to go over to TCG.
Look how far they've got to go as well to get back into the Mansion point. So they need to rush mid, and they need to rush and plus over on Hellseth and kill him. They need to kill him, and they need to do it now. They're going to lose the midpoint no matter what. They need to get control of the windmill. TCG are moving out slowly. This is surprising, actually. I feel like they're moving quite slowly back into the map, but they're going to go to mid and get the kills there. But look, the movement from Lord Asura. This is essential to make sure they keep the windmill, but we didn't see anyone else coming over towards this windmill point. That's very surprising that Car Crash didn't move for that really quick kill onto Hellseth, potentially.
I think it was just a matter of they wanted to contest the clock tower, because they know, oh, we're going to see Trebuchet, woo, fireballs. We see CanScout going to be hurling. And
Joe waved his hand, everyone.
I did jazz hands and everything. That's how excited the Trebuchet was. I'm just dreaming of the Siege of Gondor now.
I've lost my mind in the last 15 minutes, and I'm just going for it. But, you know, that's the way we need to talk about these games, because Nagnag goes down midpoint. Is he going to get res? No! And there will be many things growing out of his body, as well as a dragon coming and actually flaming on his face. And he is dead, gone, and buried. And over on the Mansion now, we were looking for a decap coming out from Super here as well.
Cremated rather than buried, I feel.
Sorry?
He was definitely cremated rather than buried.
Yes, probably. That is definitely a thing. But now, there's no chance. This is not going to change up here. TCG have definitely won the game. 2 cap. Oh, no. Single cap, actually. We saw Super trying to get the decap over on the Mansion. And now Car Crash, they've had really good moments coming out. But they actually feel like on this side of the map, look how the Treb's actually doing them not too badly at the moment.
Without the Treb, I don't think Super would have survived that situation.
No, not yet. And actually, they might get the kill on Dresser here as well.
There it is, the Treb action coming on in, and Super still somehow surviving. He's underneath that sneak gyro, but he's not got all that much HP to talk about. And he will be dropped into downstate. The res going to be there from Nagnag, but is it going to be enough? The damage, the cleave coming out, and Nagnag just having to kite away. There's the execute onto Super. The man advantage, the cap on the clock tower, and now they're looking for more. TCG are searching for a way to end this game, and with just 1 minute and 20 on the clock, I think all they have to do right now is wait a minute. That's how they're going to end this game.
And 10 seconds,
and
come
10
on.
seconds. Oh, 11 seconds, actually. 10 now.
Oh, right, sorry. I'll take my comment back.
If we're going to be pedantic about it. But here
I'm
we go.
English, just on a joke. Over on this side of the map, Illusion is about to be dropped. It's TCG's game, obviously, as well. They'll be happy with this.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, Car Crash have had some moments here where, you know, we're thinking about teams rotations. We're thinking about how they're going to be able to deal with the meta currently at the moment, whether or not, you know, bits and pieces change coming this week with some small changes, which won't be small changes. They'll be quite impactful. Maybe a lot of people probably aren't seeing that at the moment, but they will. And yeah, I mean, there's promise here for Car Crash still. I still feel like they're growing. They're growing in a positive way, but that decision to stay on Mansion for what felt like an eternity harmed them so much.
Yeah. It felt like they just kind of allowed TCG to slowly but surely take control of the entire game, and that's
easy,
exactly what happened.
Right? Like when you're, imagine like, you know, you're fighting this dude, and hopefully you're not.
Just imagine you're fighting a
and
dude.
you just, you know, there's time pressure. You've got to get the train or something, you know. You've got 5 minutes left, but, you know, you're having a bit of a scrap, and you just want to get out of it, and you know you need to get your train. It's the last train of the night, and you're thinking, I'm going to miss my train.
I'm
not sure.
No idea. I'm trying to think
Why would
of
you
something.
stay there for so long, though? You know, you've got to think of a plan to get out of there so you can get what you need to get.
I
it's kind of the
entirely
opinion what I'm trying to
agree
bring.
with the idea behind the analogy.
Yeah,
It
the thing is, I think I was very frustrated through that game.
Yeah.
And also frustrated with what I was trying to say there. But I think you got the point. Not sure I used it wasn't the best example to use in the world, but hey ho.
Well,
I think it's been a long night for a lot of these teams.
And I think kind of a theme of tonight has been sort of growing pains. It's been like the lower teams just not really able to, not having the same communication, not having the same synergy as some of these higher tier teams, and off the back of that, the higher tier teams just kind of running away. Let's take one final look at our standings for the night as we have finished our 4th match now. It has been 4-2-0 victories. TCG, Orange Logo, Rank 55, and Vermilion, our 4 pre-qualified teams, all taking on their opponents handedly and taking those victories. And I believe, yes, we do have a picture of our scoreboard so far in the season. So Rank 55 and Vermilion tied for first place on 4-0. 3-1 for TCG, 2-2 for Morguns and Orange Logo, and then Car Crashed on 1-3 and 0-4 for both Chaotic Contingency and Purple Noise. So a decent spread across the lines now. We're starting to see not just kind of a top half and a bottom half, but actually a little bit of I like that we have 2 teams that are tied in the middle. They're both on even wins and even losses, and I think that's going to be the most interesting storyline of this season for me, is whether Morguns are able to step it up and knock down one of those pre-qualified teams, or whether Orange Logo, as Ron was saying earlier, are going to be able to sort of get back on top of everything and get themselves back to that top 4 spot. Yeah.
I mean, we've seen some. The interviews have been quite interesting today as well, just getting people's insight into how they're feeling, what's going on for them, and their thoughts and ideas. But yeah, I think that's really good to hear from Rom, especially today from Orange Logo as well. Probably a lot of people, other than watching his stream, maybe talking directly to us and to more people as well, getting the inside info there on what's happening for him and his team. But yeah, you know, TCG, awesome performance, you know, really manipulation is the word of the day for that team, and how they play today with Car Crash. But
just I feel like it's kind of like just they're baiting their opponents into these fights. They're like, come and fight us here. You know you want to fight us here. You know you want to.
Come on, guys.
It's like they've got that little bit of something in their hand and they're like, come on, come on.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Car Crash kind of went for the bait.
One of those treats.
Yeah.
And the treat is the sustained open neutral cap,
Yeah.
which we see quite a few times.
And the treat for TCG is the victory. But unfortunately, it is with a heavy heart that I must tell you that was our final game of the day. And in fact, it's going to be the end of the stream from us. Make sure you tune in later on this evening, though, because NA will have their 4th week of the Pro League as well.
Yeah.
And it'll be sort of the final week of the Pro League before Christmas, where we're going to have a bit of a break. Make sure you check us out on social media. You'll find out when we're going live, and everything. The VODs are going to be on YouTube as well. But from me, and from Jebro, and from the rest of the production crew, we're going to say a fond farewell, and we'll see you guys after a very Merry Christmas.
There we go. I was going to say, Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a good one, and